Hello everyone, greetings from Deans Park Court on this pleasant sunny day. The article I want to share with you today was written in August 1994, and I wrote, Recently I enjoyed a holiday with my family in Cornwall. We stayed at a very remote but picturesque village called St Marian, situated just 2 miles from Land's End. The village offers peace and quiet together with quite breathtaking scenery. This year we were blessed to have 7 days of sunshine. The village is near to Mounts Bay, made up of Marian, Penzance, Newlyn and Mousel. The bay itself overlooks St Michael's Mount. St Michael's Mount is an island rising majestically out of the sea and is surmounted by a fairy tale looking castle. The castle was built many years ago as a monastery by an order of Benedictine monks. It is now owned by the National Trust, and although the home of Lord and Lady St Leven is open to the public. For those who can cope with a long, steep, winding walk up to the top, you can visit the beautiful chapel. Then looking out to sea can be seen the most wonderful terraced gardens. The mount is easily reached at low tide by foot across a stone causeway, hand-built by the monks, and also a ferry at high tide. During my stay, I visited a craft fair, and amongst the exhibitors were a husband and wife, both hand spinning. I watched as a crowd gathered round and listened as they explained their craft in detail. In the crowd was a small group of blind people, and as I wondered what they were gaining from being there, I moved closer and listened to the exchange of questions and answers as the blind people touched first the fleece and parts of the wheel, then finally the spun yarn. It was wonderful to see the lively interest on their faces as they grasped what was happening. Sadly, many of the other exhibits must have been lost on them, as not everyone took time to explain what they were doing. This reminded me of the courage of a young woman in her mid-20s who attends the same ceramic class as myself at Stafford Art College. She is totally blind and completely deaf, and yet in the past college year has succeeded in making some really wonderful pots. The fine, minute details on them are perfect and include little people, snakes, dragons and patterns. We are all guilty at times of assuming that when one sense is absent, then the remaining senses must be absent too. This isn't so, of course. Those blind people touch the wheels and the wool with sensitive fingers and keen intellects, as though their loss of their sight had heightened their other senses. I am sure He who created us is responsible for restoring the balance. This particular holiday was during the year my daughter and my son-in-law had been married in the June, and was the start of many family holidays when eventually my grandson Luke and my granddaughter Natasha arrived, making half our family complete. We enjoyed many such holidays in Cornwall until they were abruptly brought to a halt when my husband Melvin suffered a serious stroke, which brought an ending to his ability to drive, because his sight was very badly affected and he lost confidence to travel far from home, which was very sad for all of us. However, I'm a believer that when one door closes, God opens a window with a clearer view. This was certainly so for me, as for my 61st birthday, I enjoyed the excitement of going on an aeroplane for the very first time ever to Tenerife. Though I will forever love Cornwall, and I am so thankful for all our holidays there, I was then bitten by the travel adventure bug and proceeded to travel to many amazing places in all different parts of the world I never even dreamed about. These adventures have lasted for 16 years. Though I have also made several visits, sometimes solo, down memory lane to Mounts Bay, Marian, where I still find it magical. Yesterday, as you know, was my birthday, and despite the lockdown and isolation, I had a most wonderful day, albeit virtual, as they say. A group family chat, gathering, a birthday song from Teddy, a virtual birthday party with my lovely friends Amanda and Linda and the ladies from one of my favourite Facebook groups. Because of our present circumstances, it was celebrated a very different way to my 80th birthday last year, which was something of a roller coaster of exciting happenings. They began with me embarking solo, but meeting good friends on board a 35-night cruise to America and the Caribbean, something a few years ago I could never have imagined doing. I found myself sailing on a glass-bottomed boat in the Bermuda Triangle, and thankfully I did return. An evening on a paddle wheeler on the Mississippi, which never left the quayside due to thick fog, but nevertheless was an incredible experience, with good company, very tasty food, and all the razzmatazz that comes with a good jazz band. But the absolute highlight for me was my trip to Miami, by coach, by ferry, and culminating in a trip on an airboat which skimmed at speed across the Everglades, and finally holding a baby alligator, which actually stunk to high heaven. I also enjoyed a girly holiday in Cyprus with my daughter and granddaughter, another wonderful 10 days. There was a family meal out on the day of my actual birthday, an afternoon tea on the Sunday at the vintage tea rooms arranged by my daughter to celebrate both mine and Melvin's birthday, as his was in February when I was away. All in all, I had an amazing time which I will always remember, and felt blessed for having this opportunity which, needless to say, I grasped and embraced. However, I was pondering on the stark contrast of these two birthdays. It made me realise where surely my priorities must be. Yes, living the American dream was incredible, but so were my super family holidays, which had been cut so dramatically off when Melvin became so suddenly ill. Life can change in the blink of an eye. In September, hopefully, God willing, Melvin and I will celebrate our diamond wedding, 60 years of marriage. And now, on the top of my new bucket list, is not my desired cruise to Norway or to jet off to Cyprus, but it is just one more family holiday weekend to Devon or Cornwall to recapture those very special times with me, with those most dear to me. And this year we have an addition to our family in Chloe, Luke's fiancée, and our Teddy, who hopefully will be able to come with us. Material things of life are good to have, and I have relished my travel, my clothes, and lots of material things that I do love. However, in my article, I mentioned the sense of touch. And it really brought it home to me yesterday, being in isolation and not able to see anyone, that I realised I so missed human contact. A hug, a kiss, a hand held, an embrace. Virtual, as good as that can be, is definitely no substitute for the real thing. But given time, this will happen again, and how wonderful it surely will be. Thank you for listening to me again, friends. Take care, stay safe, and God bless. Bye for now. Bye.